Um, okay, so yeah, we aren't going to have sections this week because all of your GSIs are going to be doing their serious professional duty at the Society for Research and Child Development. So we'll get a report about what exciting new developments there are when everybody comes back. And you should, so we won't have sections this week, but we will have sections next week, and you should be working on the revisions of the Bunny paper. Okay, so what we're going to do today is talk about families and about the influences of families on development. And what we're going to do next time on Wednesday is talk about peers and their influences on development. So when we talk about families, we tend to have a kind of picture in our heads of a kind of Leave It to Beaver mom in her house dress and dad going out to work, living somewhere in the suburbs in 1955 as our picture about what human families are like. But actually, human families are and always have been, extremely variable. And part of the reason for this has to do with our evolutionary background. And I've emphasized several times in this class the fact that we have this exceptionally long period of helpless immaturity, this exceptionally long childhood. And it's one of the distinctive features of our evolution, we have this long childhood. When you look at our evolutionary background, interestingly, our human sense of a family seems to be more extended and variable than the family sense of our closest primate relative. So for example, if you look at chimpanzees, what you see is that for chimpanzees, a bit of an exaggeration, but something like that 1950s model seems to be right, in the sense that when chimpanzee babies are born, the mothers essentially won't let anyone else get near them. So the chimpanzee babies are clinging onto the mothers, and at least until the babies are weaned, the mothers are sort of exclusively caring for the babies. And even as the babies get older, the mothers really are the ones who are doing almost all of the infant care. But that is very different from the picture that seems to be true even for, so that's true for chimpanzees, for our closest relatives. But if you look at other primates, you see that primates don't always have this pattern where the biological mother is the one who does the child care. So if you look at animals like lemurs and langurs, and this is work that comes out of this wonderful book by the anthropologist Sarah Blacker-Hardy, she went and looked at lemurs and langurs and other primates who live in large groups the way that we do and travel long distances the way that we do. And when you look at those animals, what you see is a very different pattern. So among those animals, you see alloparents. And alloparents are other members of the group, not necessarily even biologically kin to babies, who put in time and effort and energy into taking care of those babies nevertheless. So for these other kinds of monkeys, mothers aren't the only ones who are doing care. In fact, mothers are trading care with other members of the group. And it's, this phenomenon of alloparenting is especially interesting because it seems like it's kind of evolutionarily paradoxical. If I don't share the genes of a baby, why would I be investing in trying to keep that baby alive from an evolutionary perspective? And there are several answers that evolutionary biologists have proposed for this. One of them is that in these groups, much like in early humans, even if you're not directly related to the babies that you're taking care of, the groups are relatively small and they tend to be indirectly related to one another. So the genes of the whole group tend to be similar, so you actually are getting some genetic advantages, even if you're not taking care of your babies directly. Another piece seems to be something that's called reciprocal altruism. And reciprocal altruism basically just means that if you do something for me, I'll do something for you. So among these lemurs and langurs, for instance, if you didn't have alloparenting, nobody's babies would survive. And by trading off, so I take care of your baby for some of the time, but then you take care of my baby for some of the time, you actually end up having a better success for the entire group than you would if each individual just cared about their own babies. And a third piece is that the monkeys, the langurs and lemurs who actually do the alloparenting often are actually young females. So they're the sort of the lemur equivalent of a teenage babysitter. And there's some evidence that the young females actually learn how to do caregiving by practicing, by babysitting for other lemurs' babies. So even though there isn't a direct benefit to those alloparents, there's an indirect benefit because it gives them a chance to actually learn the skills that they'll then have to use to be able to raise their own babies effectively. And there's some evidence that having had experience of raising babies, even if they aren't your own babies, actually for these animals makes you a more effective mother yourself when it's time to raise your own babies. So all of those evolutionary factors seem to lead to the development of this pattern of alloparenting in other animals, although not in our closest primate relatives. One of the ideas that Sarah Hurdy has is that in fact, wonderful slide, that first word should be pair bonding. So that should say pair bonding at the top. So one of the ideas about the evolution of human beings is that we developed, in response to the greater demands of our helpless children, we developed what I think of as the, put that on the board. Not sure why that's not showing. So pair bonding is more. So in response to the demands of our longer childhood, we seem to have developed what I think of as the triple threat of parental investment. Three features that human beings have that our closest relatives don't seem to have. And that triple threat is, first of all, that we have pair bonding, which means, if you remember the very first lecture about the voles, pair bonding means that males and females don't just have sex together, but they actually have bonds together. And males and females both are invested in raising babies together. Again, that's not characteristic of our closest primate relative. It's not true about chimpanzees and gorillas and orangutans, but it does seem to be true about us. So what happens in pair bonded species is that you see ties between males and females that go beyond just the point of having sex, and you see males and females jointly raising babies together. And if you look at the fossil record, you can already see some of the traces of pair bonding even when we look at fossil remains of our hominid ancestors. So one of the things that's a kind of signature of pair bonding is that males and females are closer in size than they are when you have non-pair bonded species. So if you look at gorillas or chimpanzees, you'll see there's a much bigger size difference between males and females than there is between human males and females. And because there's that size difference, that means that we can track when pair bonding showed up in human evolution, and you can show that we see signs of pair bonding even quite early in human evolution. So developing parent fathers as potential caregivers seems to be something that was part of our evolutionary program very early on in human evolution. So the idea that fathers are investing in and taking care of babies isn't just a snag, sensitive new age guy invention of the last few years. That actually seems to be something that we were doing even as Neanderthals. So pair bonding is one adaptation that we seem to have that broadens the circle of people who are taking care of babies. Another adaptation is grandmothering. So one of the things that, again, is distinctive about human beings, in this case actually distinguishes us from every other animal except killer whales, is the fact that our elderly women actually live on past menopause. So again, it would seem like, from an evolutionary point of view, my continued existence makes absolutely no sense at all, right? I mean, why am I here? Aside from teaching everybody developmental psychology in 140, but that probably wasn't my evolutionary function. And again, when you look at the fossil record, there's signs that this extended lifespan was there even when you look at early hominids. And the hypothesis is that grandmothers are another adaptation to try to deal with this long period of early helplessness. And you can show that if you look at hunter-gatherer societies, for example, the grandmother's investment in their grandchildren actually makes a difference to whether those grandchildren survive and thrive or don't survive and thrive. So again, grandmothers and more incidentally grandfathers are a part of the particular human program. And grandmothers are just maybe the most striking case of the fact that humans, like reindeers and lemurs, but unlike chimpanzees, also engage in alloparenting. So again, even if you look in hunter-gatherer cultures, you see that mothers, and even mothers and fathers and grandmothers, aren't the only ones to take care of babies. In fact, people from other groups, people who aren't directly related to babies, nevertheless will invest in taking care of babies. And presumably that's the same kind of story that we see in the lemurs and langurs. Part of it is reciprocal altruism, so you take care of my baby, I'll take care of yours. And part of it is also because it's a way of providing young females in particular with a chance to actually practice and acquire skills of caregiving. And by the way, that's another function that the grandmothers may be serving. So one of the things that grandmothers, of course, know about is how to take care of babies. So it may be that part of grandmothering is also not just taking care of the babies, but also giving the mothers information and skill about how they should take care of their babies. Or at least that's what I tell my daughter-in-law on a regular basis. Okay, so the point that I want to make is that from the very, very beginning, from even before we were Homo sapiens, the human family, the group of people who are investing in children, is much wider and more wide-ranging than you might think either from looking at chimpanzees or looking at 1950 situation comedies. Our families are much broader and always have been much broader than just biological mothers. Another important thing to say about families, and again, this is the point that I've been making again and again in the class, is that we also might think that the way that families, and in particular parents, affect children is that parents do something. There's some set of tricks that parents have, techniques that parents have, things that parents do, and they have a direct influence on how the babies and children come out. I think this is the kind of model behind parenting, which is great 21st century industry. If there's some formula, there's some bunch of things that parents can do, and if they just do these things as opposed to the other things, i.e. the things in my book that you should spend your money to buy as opposed to the things in the other guy's book, then their children will thrive or their children will come out better. But when you actually look at the research, one of the most interesting things that's actually come out of the empirical research is that babies and children have as much influence on the way that parents behave as parents do on the way that babies and children behave. So we see that the picture is really a picture where individual characteristics of children are influencing the way that those children get parented. And again, we've mentioned several times in the course this factor of temperament. So there seem to be genetic bases for these temperament differences, the differences between easy children and the difficult children, the risk-averse children and the risk-taking children, and those differences themselves influence the way that parents behave. So you can really think about parent and child interaction as being this bidirectional process where each member of the group is behaving in a way. So the parents are behaving, parents and grandparents and alloparents are behaving in ways that influence the children, and then partly as a result of that, the children are behaving in ways that influence the parents, and then the parents are behaving in ways that influence the children, and so forth. So that you have a bidirectional process going back and forth between the children and the parents, and that process, the outcome of that process, is really what shapes who we are as we get to be adults, not just a single direction going from parents to children. So different children have really different, different children of the same mother end up with a different mother. So my three sons all really fundamentally had very different mothers. Now, what are some of the differences in the things that influence parents and that lead them to parent in particular ways rather than in other ways? Oops, sorry, I seem to be missing a slide here. Okay, so one of those differences, sorry, this is spelled out on the slide, is among the factors that are influencing, hold on a second, I'm wondering if I have the wrong version of this. I think I do. Yeah, sorry, let's start again. That was an earlier draft, as it were. Yes. Okay, so there's this bidirectionality of parent and child interactions. And one of the things that we know influences the way that parents behave is their socioeconomic status, which is short for SES, which means basically whether they're poor or middle class or rich and upper class. And we know that socioeconomic status influences the way that parents behave. And in particular, we know that economic stress, aka poverty, has a strong negative effect on parents and on interactions between parents and children. And it says here 18% of children under 18 live in poverty. That's actually from the time that the book was written. In fact, that number has increased, so it's now more than 20%. It's increased over the past 5 years. And as you can see, that number of children in poverty is much larger for minorities, for African Americans and Hispanic Americans, than it is for European Americans. So if you look for African American children, for instance, more than 30% of children are growing up in poverty. And if you look at children overall, more than 40% are growing up in the lowest 10% of income. So even if not technically poverty, are still growing up in extremely difficult circumstances. And in fact, if you break people up by their ages, it turns out, so you sort of say how much money is coming into people between the ages of 0 and 5, 5 and 10, 10, 15, and so forth, up to 80s. It turns out that children under 5 are the poorest child group in the country. So children under 5 are more likely to be living in poverty than any other age group. So actually, our children are poorer and living in poorer circumstances than any other age group. And that's distinctive to the United States. So the United States is 38th out of the developing countries in terms of the amount of support that there is for children. So I think we're above, North Korea and Gabon and places like that. But almost all of the other developed countries do better in terms of the poverty status of children than the United States does. But so we know that poverty not surprisingly, has a strong negative effect on children. We also know something about some of the moderators that mean that some children who are growing up in poverty actually continue to thrive and succeed in spite of poverty and other children don't. And one of the most important ones seems to be having a broader social support network outside of just the mother and child. So the more the child has something that looks like that hunter-gatherer network of grandmothers and cousins and friends and alloparents, the more likely they are to weather the stresses of poverty. And one of the things that's particularly disturbing about poverty in America in the 21st century is it goes along with isolation. So it isn't just that people are poor. You can point to, say some immigrant families where there isn't very much money coming in, but where there's a big family with lots of social support and lots of background. That's not a typical story about poverty in the United States. The typical story of poverty in the in the United States is a single mother who's working 2 or 3 jobs just to get by and lives very far away from anyone else who she knows or who knows her child, and children who are just growing up in a single apartment with that single mother and not interacting with a wide range of other people. And that kind of isolation, that lack of social support, which is a consequence of poverty, seems to be an even more negative factor than poverty itself. So this is the old saying about it's taking a village to raise a child, and that the more research people do in developmental psychology, the more clear it is that that's true, and also the more clear it is that that many children growing up in the United States don't have that village support. Okay, so let's stop and do an explanation grid. Go back to this question about five-step directionality. So maybe you could think of some examples, maybe examples from your own life and your own interactions with your parents. I think probably everyone has dramas that they can tell about the way that your temperament and the temperament of your parents interact to shape the way that you actually are. And let's just do that for 2 minutes and then we'll start again. I'm hearing nervous laughter about this. Okay, let's, now that we've all had the therapy of the miserable stories about our wretched parents, we can think about other ways in which families have actually changed. And one of the things about families, again, that I've emphasized is the fact that family dynamics and family structures change as social institutions change. And in particular, in the late 20th, early 21st century, there's been a number of fairly dramatic changes in the ways that we take care of children. And those changes have some important implications for thinking about child development. So what are some of the changes in families? One change is that people are having children at an older and older age. So the age at which people are getting married is increasing. So that means more and more the kind of normative family structure is for people to wait until they're in their late 20s or early 30s before they have children, before they get married and have children. And for most families now, both parents are actually working and working outside of the home. Now that's a kind of interesting family change because, again, if you're thinking about that idealized 1950s picture of what a family is like, you might think, oh, this is a really big difference. But actually, if you think about comparing the way that comparing the fact that women are working now to the family structure in, say, the 19th century, there's less of a difference. So in the 19th century, actually, most parents were at home because, of course, in the 19th century, most people were farmers. And if you're a farmer, that means that you're not really differentiating between the kind of work that you do but you're not differentiating between work and home. Your work is at home and home is work. So what really seems to have happened was that in the 19th century, there was the first major change, which was that fathers started working outside of the home. And we don't think about fathers working outside of the home as being a major social change, but actually for fathers to work outside of the home was as much of a change, in some ways a more dramatic change, than it was later on for mothers to work outside of the home. So if you think about the difference between a farming family, where everybody's in the same place and work and caregiving are all going on simultaneously, or a hunter-gatherer family, or even an artisan family where people are living over the top of the shop, that's a really different way of organizing families and a very different way of organizing work in families than the model where people go away someplace else to work, and the places where people work aren't the same as the places where children get taken care of. So that's actually a relatively new development. And what happened first was that development happened for men, and really what happened is just that women have caught up in terms of working outside of the home. So marriages have increased, the age at which women have their first children has increased, and the divorce rate has gone up substantially. So that it went up particularly in the middle 20th century. Now it seems to have leveled off again, but it's leveled off at a relatively high rate with about 1 of 2 marriages ending in divorce. And partly as a consequence of those changes, the families that are raising children have changed. So there's more and more and more children actually being raised by single mothers, and children being raised by families where there hasn't been a marriage at all. And because of divorce, even children who are growing up in families where there are marriages are growing up with step-parents as opposed to biological parents much of the time. So what that means is that large numbers of children are being taken care of by just one person, and often they're being taken care of by people that they're not biologically related to. But it's important to remember that's a change from sort of the 1950s. It may not be as much of a change from ways that children have been raised before, because even before there was divorce, there was death. And in the past, in the 18th and 19th century, children were also likely to be raised by people that weren't their biological parents. But the reason for that was because their parents were more likely to die and remarry later. So it's kind of interesting. You actually look at the length that marriages lasted. They're not actually all that different between a contemporary culture in which we have a lot of divorce and the 18th and 19th century. It's just that the thing that makes the marriages